Namaste. The Game of Thrones is a story of Westeros. It's a mythical country. 7 different countries, 7 different nations, all of whom are led and governed by 7 different families, most of whom can't stand each other, most of whom have their own brands, own values and everything else. And each of those have one common vision. They want the Iron Throne. It's all about be the first to the throne. Who is going to be the first to the throne? And really, I'm going to take us through who can be the first to the throne. This is for all those who are going to suffer from the spoilers today. Okay?
Hold the door! Hey, hold on. In today's episode, Hodor died while holding the door for Bran.
No.
Hodor.
No.
Hold the door.
No.
The first to the throne owns the spoiler.
Baby? Uncle? You know what? In today's episode, Daenerys slept with Jon Snow. And she is his aunt.
The first to the throne owns the spoiler.
Here's my first disclaimer. There are no spoilers from today's episode. So relax. I won't tell you who kills who. I won't tell you who survives. Okay, but you can imagine it by the end of it. We're all in this Game of Thrones. Each one running their own kingdoms, their own businesses. Each one running businesses in different countries. Each one part of the same big industry, which we call the experience industry. Some of us are doing events, some of us are doing mice, some of us are doing weddings, others are doing special events, some are doing VIP events, and you name the category, but all of us are running different kingdoms. Each one is the ruler, each one of you is a ruler, each one of you, imagine yourself, you're part of Westeros. And the question is, who is king? My belief is, the client is the king. Sumit Sani would tell us, the customer is the king. Someone else will tell you, someone else is the king. But truthfully, it all boils down to who's the client. The customer is the client, so he's the king. Our customers are our clients, they are the king. And the one who wins that client, the one who wins that customer, really becomes the king. The throne is theirs. I'm going to request you, on each of your tables, you've got a notepad. Do you have a notepad? Can each of you hold your notepads up? Come on. Everyone who's got a notepad in front of him, please hold it up because I want to use it. I want you to use this notepad for the next 20 minutes. Alright, super. I'm going to share with you 10 steps to win the throne. Now these 10 steps are broad steps. I want you to take the step and either today, whilst I'm speaking or even otherwise, find the time to fill up on the right hand side what your answer is. I'm going to pose you blocks, 10 blocks. It's your job to fill the other side. Yeah? Here's the 10 steps to win the throne. Everyone has a vision. Khaleesi, the Dragon Queen, the Targaryen family. At the right at the beginning of Game of Thrones, her brother Viserys tells us that his dream is to be on the Iron Throne. His father had it, now he wants it. And they've been banished, their father's been killed, and he has no army, he has nothing. He's living as a beneficiary of one of the lords. But his dream is, I want to be on the throne. He gets his sister married, Daenerys married, to Dothraki, who is a savage kind of community. And he tells her, I don't care, and sorry for the language, if you get screwed by him, the Khal Drogo, and 40,000 of his savage men. As long as that army belongs to me and we can go after the throne. Anything to win the throne. Khaleesi, clear. She wants to be on the throne. Now she gets onto the throne. To get on the throne, she's clear. I will not kill anybody. I will not do all of this. I am a person of values. I will take King's Landing without killing the people. I don't want to be the queen of the ashes. I want to go there. I will surround Westeros with all the armies of Westeros and make sure that the kingdom and the people suffer. They're starved. And then I will cause an uprising so that they will go and overthrow the queen. Very clear that she's not going to do it. She's not going to use the dragons to go and burn the people. If she has to use the dragons, it's to cause fear. It's to be able to create that symptom wherein they're all surrounded. Siege of the capital. Very clear vision. All of us were in that room yesterday where Inventum Global, Bunyat and Asal shared their dream for Inventum Global. Were you all in the room? Do you remember Bunyat's dream? We want Inventum Global to be the biggest DMC player in the world. Where he is and where Inventum Global is, it's a far cry. But that is their vision. Each one of you in this room has a vision. I'm sure one of you wants to be the largest player in Jaipur or Rajasthan, or the largest player doing Rajasthani weddings across the world. Another wants to do Turkish weddings in different parts of the world and be global. Another wants to be the best provider. And if you looked at Bunyat and his team, that vision was very clear. He of course added with it saying, I don't know whether we'll get that far, but we're on our way and we're going to get there. And my belief is that if they're trying to get there, chances are they will. With your help or without your help. Without our help, and they will get there because the belief is there. The vision is there. And if that is what the vision is, and you've got it clearly marked out, chances are you'll get there. So on each of your sheets, point number 1, write vision. Dream big, clear vision helps. Important. You can have your vision. If you saw, you need to share your vision. You need to have your team and share your vision with them. Share your vision with your ecosystem so that everyone begins to look at that dream as to they know you're on your journey. And here's what Khaleesi does. I'll take you to Game of Thrones. How does she share a vision? She's managed to get the Dothraki army, and the dragons have killed the slave masters of the Unsullied army. Now the Unsullied don't have masters, they have only Khaleesi. And here's the choice she places before all of them.
Dove Gedis? Jemut Clive Sori. Keso Tubi. Jemut Taibri Depan. Hendo Jagun Giles a lui vali miri. Hendo Jagun Costas. Un toari vali Sirio Trigilsa. Jemut Kiven you Depan. Una in City Vili Bilat. Un tari Valotti.
You get that? Share your dream. Give your team freedom. Let them choose. In their freedom, the likelihood of them choosing your dream is very, very high. Because if your dream really matters, they will choose to be your partners. And they will believe in you. And that belief is important. Point number 2, share your dream. You've got your vision, you've got your dream, you've shared it. Formulate your strategy. How do I go to the market? Do I go to my market customer centric? Do I go to my market production centric? Do I go to my market price centric? Do I go to my market creative centric? Ideas, imagination. What is my go to market strategy? How am I going to make my dream come true? How am I going to translate this vision? That strategy has to be very, very clear. I'm going to share this video with you. This video is very interesting. It shows you the armies of the Baratheons, Sebastian Baratheon, who's coming to confront Westeros. They are coming through the sea with 50 ships or 100 ships. Facing them must be 100 ships. And look at what the imp, the dwarf, does, the strategist for Westeros at that point. What does he see and his strategy is? And look at it, and also look at it, how he holds the surprise in what he's doing.
There's only one ship. Where are the rest of them? Where are the rest of them?
There's only one ship. Archers, stand tall! Man them below! Knock! And set! Draw! Walled! Oh! There's no one on board. Wildfire. Steer clear! Steer clear! Mathas! Get down!
Question to you is, what is your wildfire? What is your surprise? What is it that you have in your arsenal that the enemy is not expecting, that the competition is not expecting, sometimes what the client is not expecting? How do you surprise them? How do you keep them engaged? How do you keep them always jumping to the next level? Strategy and implementation go hand in hand. Challenges will come. They knew that the battleships were coming in. They were ready. Be ready, because the challenge will come. So, formulate your strategy is your next point. Implementation is your next. And then we come to how will you implement? Education. Education, skill development, important. Are you educating yourself? Are you skilling yourself all the time? Technology, updates, all of that that's happening all the time. Are you updating yourself? Are you lost in yesterday? 2, are you educating your environment? Many of us in this room have learned on the job. Are you helping the next generation of event managers and experience creators? Are you creating schools? Are you creating development programs for them? Many of us from this room are creating such institutions in India. I'm sure many of you are doing it in different parts of the world. What if they began to work together to be able to create unison and a clear thought process of deliverables that are standardized across the world, standards that are accepted across the world, education that is across the world. hospitality, science, culinary zeal, design, creatives, production. All of it is one language, one standard. And look at what Arya Stark does. She's learning. She's a kid to do sword fighting. Okay? And look at it, and look at the advice she gets.
It's small. Now the grip, let me see. Yes. The grip must be delicate.
What if I drop it?
The steel must be part of your arm. Can you drop part of your arm? No. 9 years, Sirio Farrell was first sought to the Sea Lord of Brahms. He knows these things. You must listen to me, boy.
I'm a girl.
Boy, girl, you are a sword. That is all. That is the grip. You are not holding a battle axe. You are holding
a needle.
Notice, she's defined her sword. For her, it's the needle. She's defined her weapon. She's made it her weapon. Her education has become part of her. Don't just hold a sword. Become the sword. Become part of what your weapon is, part of your education. Transform yourself. Your education, your skills can transform you. Point for you, education, skill development. What am I doing about it? For my team, for me, for the ecosystem. Education is one thing. In some ways, it's book knowledge. You will always come across with challenges which are not in the book. What is your answer? Innovation. Education and an innovation makes it compelling, powerful, unbeatable. No challenge is big enough suddenly. And if you look at the innovations that keep coming in the Game of Thrones, I'm skipping some of that because of length. But these are things that really make that difference. Be ready with your innovation. When faced with challenges, innovate and conquer. Technology. If you noticed in Sumit Sani's presentation, he spoke about the digital world that's being unleashed around us. No, we are part of. We are immersed within it. It's enveloping us all over. How are we responding to that? How are we using that to work to our advantage? It's a lot about innovation. Do what you're doing with that difference and you will win. Go on to commitment. What is your commitment? And this is a big number. Are you committed to your vision? Are you committed to your strategy? Are you committed to its implementation? One. Are you committed to the ecosystem? I think we have a responsibility as an industry to provide jobs in the markets that we operate in, provide investment, provide skill development, upgrade skills to that we're up to the next level. Two, what are we doing with regard to health and safety? You look at a Cirque du Soleil and the heir of the Cirque du Soleil dies in an accident on the stage. I know I've been part of some incidents which shook my entire life, where a stage that we were working on caught fire. There are multiple events, weddings, mice events, where a couple is being lifted off on a crane looking beautiful and they fall off at the height of 100 feet. What happens to them? I don't know. What happens to everything of that wedding is a disaster. How careful are we? How responsible are we to health, safety, gender equality, no harassment in the workplace with regard to women? How are we working with the environment? How are we looking at job creation? We have a larger responsibility. What are we doing with ecology? What are we doing with sustainability? We as an industry have to become the industry that went ahead, thought about the future, thought about beyond our business. And that will define us. That is what will define today's event and make us really special. Here's the commitment of the Night Watch. Look at what they're ready to sacrifice to be the Night Watch.
And bear witness to my vow. Night gathers, and now my watch begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, hold no lands, father no children. I shall wear no crowns and win no glory. I shall live and die at my post. I am the sword in the darkness. I am the watcher on the walls. I am the shield that guards from the realm of men. I pledge my life and honour to the Night's Watch for this night and all the nights to come.
You knelt as boys. Rise now as men of the Night's Watch.
Knelt as boys, rise as men, rise as the night watch. Safety above creativity. Safety matters more than creativity. And gender equality always. Respect for women, no harassment in the workplace, ensuring that a special place is created so that irrespective of gender we prosper is extremely important. Yesterday when we had Inventing Global's presentation, what did Bunyad do in the beginning? And I'm sorry Bunyad, they keep coming to yesterday's presentation. Besides it being a brilliant one, it became an inspiration for what we could talk about. He flanked himself, he stood in the middle. I mean, that's his place anyway. And on his side were his team from one part of the world and his team from multiple parts of the world. And his team that is putting the basics together, the products, and the team that is taking it all to the world. He was building a global team. And he was proud of his team enough to be able to say, come and share the stage with me. When building a team, notice, Jon Snow is asked, he is the king of the north. He is asked by the queen, if you want my army to work for you and fight the army of the dead, you have to bend the knee. He is the king of the north. He's just been appointed and he's come to her as the king of the north. And she says, bend the knee. When he bends the knee, he loses his title of king of the north and he becomes Lord Jon Snow of Winterfell. That's it. He does that because of the greater good of having the team that will be able to get to fight the army of the dead. Sacrifice, commitment. These are important aspects when you're building a team. If you look at that picture out here, the dream team, they're from different parts of the world. One is a wildling, the other is Sir Jorah of Mormont, the other is Jon Snow. Each of them is from some different part of Westeros, beyond Westeros, and they all come together. Many of them are tribes, they can't stand each other, and he brings them all together for a common cause. He brings them together for that common vision that they all begin to share, imbibe, and say, together we will achieve it. When you're building a team, be prepared to get smarter people than you in the room. That will be your smartest trick. Get people who are brighter than you, better equipped than you, and who you could actually report to. Because the truth is, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to leave and go and find another room. When you look at all of it, you've got vision, you've got strategy, you've got commitment, you've got education, skill development, you've got all of it. It's about belief and partnership. And I'll tell you, to believe and partner with another person is very difficult. Most of us in this room have companies, and invariably 90% of us are partnering with somebody. Every one of us has a partner, a business partner that we started this journey with, because either we didn't find ourselves equipped, or it was easier to get the other facets that we don't have from the other person and say, become my business partner. But the truth is, when you become a business partner, it's more than husband and wife. It's belief and partnership. I'll share with you, my own company, Wizcraft, was started by 3 founders. 31 years later, we're still together. One was a DJ, the other was a hotel manager, and I was a journalist. Nothing to do with entertainment or event management. We were the first event management company in India. But leave that aside. If you meet the 3 of us, each one's personalities and traits are completely different. We are chalk, cheese, and water. They don't mix. And still, we work together. And what I loved about working with Bunyat and Asil over the last 4 years, it's the same with us. You can start a conversation with one, continue it with the third, and continue to the second and go to the third. And the chances are your result would have been the same. And that is commonness of dream, belief, partnership, and moving forward.
Men we have left are exhausted. Many of them are wounded. They'll fight better if they have time to rest and recuperate.
How long do you suggest?
Can't say for certain, not without talking to the officers.
I came north to fight alongside you, at great cost to my armies and myself. Now that the time has come to reciprocate, you want to postpone.
It's not just our people, it's yours. You want to throw them into a war they're not ready to fight.
The longer I leave my enemies alone, the stronger they become.
The northern forces will honor their promises and their allegiance to the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms. What you command, we will obey.
So, if all are in agreement.
Commitments are not tested when times are good. Commitments are really tested, and belief in partnership is tested when you're really challenged. That is the real test. And in all of these, it takes one leader, one direction, because you're on one mission. Own the mission. And everybody must own that mission. And the truth is that you need to own that mission together. Even if it is one person deciding, let Khaleesi decide, let the Queen of the Seven Kingdoms decide. But everyone from the Seven Kingdoms and beyond have got to own that decision as if it is theirs. The mission determines everything. Together comes from there. Are we together? And that togetherness gets defined. What happened to the Game of Thrones when they worked together? 132 nominations for the Primetime Emmys, and they won 47 Emmys. At the 67th Emmy Awards, they got 24 nominations and a record 12 wins. Next year, the 68th Emmys, they repeated the feat. 23 nominations. 23 nominations for the consecutive year. And consecutively, they won 12 more primetime Emmys. That's what you can achieve when you work together. And I'm going to take this from here. You've seen Rickshaws share their dream. You'll hear Turkish Airlines sharing their dream. We've heard the Inventum Global Dream. You hear the Go Turkey or Tourism of Turkey, their dream. As the times go by, you'll hear each of their partners coming together to share their dreams. Question is, where do you find your dream as part of their dream? Where do each of us in this room find our dream getting fulfilled or merging or synergizing with their dream? The more we synergize with their dream, the more useful their coming together is going to be for us. The more we work together, the more powerful each of us becomes. And I'm going to share a film which I put together on the Indian wedding industry going global. It shares with you some of the milestones, some of the big moments, and those of you who are not from India, just enjoy it. It's great visuals. If you invite our planners to your country, the chances it could happen in your country too. So it's weddings from across the world. Feel good. It's really special because together we can win. If I finish, go back to your sheet. Check. Vision. Share your vision. Share your dream. Strategy. Implementation. Execution. Education. Innovation. Commitment. It's a big one, big C. Build your team. Belief, partnership, and finally, together. Because together, we can be the first to the throne. Thank you.